I really want to have a rapid fire with you.
Right.
Okay. So my first question will be one word that defines your journey, one myth about psychology which you would like to bust. Why psychology only?
बचपन से ऐसा दिमाग में था कि मुझे कुछ ऐसा डिग्री चाहिए ना कि जहाँ पे people will see me कि she is the expert of that particular industry या फिर degree.
And what is the scenario in the schools?
So even in school now, even government has started taking a very good actions towards mental health. And every school has a psychologist now. The school plays a major role because majority of the time the kids spend their time at the school. And that is where if they have any and they have a very cute issues like I had a fight with my best friend. Now she's not talking to me. How do I handle this stress?
Being a mother and being a psychologist, तो आप अपने बच्चे से कैसे डील करते हो?
नहीं, when I go home, I am mother only. I just remove my psychological coat outside the house only.
So, any techniques which you do with students to increase their focus in studies या exams का pressure कैसे handle कर सकते?
Can you just do it? The opposite.
Wow! Like this?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So these are the very basic things that we always suggest parents to go for it. और बच्चों से उसका 15 मिनट आधा घंटा भी आपने कर दिया तो you can do it. So for example जो हम स्कूल में करते थे.
हाँ ये हम लोग भी करते थे स्कूल में. What are the common challenges you face when couples are coming to you?
So majorly yes, there is the major thing is the communication gap. He don't have time for me.
Completely two different people can have a healthy relationship.
Definitely yes.
How? Hello ma'am, welcome to TMO.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me here and I'm very happy.
Thank you for accepting our request.
Thank you for considering me this. I am the best for this. Thank you.
Yeah, I am sure the students and even the parents are going to love this podcast, the talks which we are going to have. To start with, I really want to have a rapid fire with you.
Right.
Okay. So my first question will be one word that defines your journey.
It's like passion.
Okay. Corporate world or entrepreneurship? What do you think? What is more thrilling?
Entrepreneurship, obviously.
Okay. What's tougher for you? Starting a company or sustaining it?
To be very honest, neither starting with a company or sustaining with it. But yes, the next goal, because I am into the industry where patience is the key of a success. But sometimes I just lose my own forte of patience, and I want this, and that is where I feel that is the most toughest part for me.
The next goal,
yes.
Okay. One myth about psychology which you would like to bust?
यहाँ पे सभी जाना चाहिए जब हमें कोई एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम होता है. थेरेपी तभी लेनी चाहिए जब हमें जेन्युइनली कोई ना कोई लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम आ गया है.
Okay. And the last question, your go-to stress buster?
Meditation, breathing exercise. I need my me time to come back again.
Okay, great. So let's start the talks, okay? So my first question will be would you describe your journey since childhood, how you did your education and how you landed into BrainChecker?
Okay, so basically the journey is very, very funny, I must tell you. I completed my master's in commerce, with the specialization of IOAD, which is an industry subject. And when I given my 7 years after my 10th, 12th, I give my 7 years to complete this degree, and then I feel I'm doing it, I'm using it, but I'm not the real me what I'm doing. It's basically in Marathi we say पाटा टाकायची कामं. So that is what I was doing, and I was not happy at all because I always wanted to do something which is related to the mental health or for the people where I can help them. So even a point came where I feel that let me start with the NGO.
Okay.
So and then slowly, I was working in an education company which was related to the degree and the distance learning and the short courses and all. And there I got an idea, why can't I go for the psychology? And I started my education again from the zero. I completed my BA in psychology and MA in psychology with the specialization of counseling. And that is where I again started with this company called BrainChecker.
Okay.
So I started here as an employee, and then
the journey began.
the journey began.
Okay. So you come from a commerce background and then
Yes.
switched into psychology.
Yes.
Okay.
And I feel that is where I thought that this is the right time, because nobody was there to guide me what exactly I want to do, who I am, or what is my strength, what are my overall persona is.
Right.
So even though I have to give my 7 years to understand this journey, but now I am very proud that okay, now people don't have to give that 7 year ka journey to understand who you are. I'm there to, BrainChecker is there to help them out.
Right. Okay, so you made a platform. So you have made a platform out of your own problem.
Yes.
Okay, that's the perfect definition of entrepreneurship. And ma'am, आपने जो अभी बोला कि you started, you were thinking of starting an NGO. So
Yes.
did you started an NGO?
Yes, we do
Okay.
have an NGO. There, it's again related to the education field only.
Acha.
Because many times what happens, we are very privileged to have everything around us.
Yeah.
Right? We have time to spend with family. We get whatever we want whenever we ask for. But there are many people who are like, have a lot of potential. But because they're not getting what they want at the right time, they are just giving up.
Right.
So many times through the NGO, we go to the schools, specifically the school in a small taluka or village, where they require like books or stationery or any sports related equipment. So we have a firm called Atlantic Foundation, and we provide them
the stationery or the
whatever the
material.
school required.
Okay.
Because evening which was government is giving their best to the schools, but sometimes they still need an extra from the society, and that is where BrainChecker work.
Okay. And again, आपका experience in the corporate world is huge.
Yes.
What I have seen through your information. So switching again from corporate to entrepreneurship was a huge decision.
Yes.
Must be a huge decision,
Yes,
right?
it is.
So what were the changes you faced, or what were the challenges that came in your way while doing that?
So challenges is basically, see, when I was working in corporate, so I was an employee there, right? So I have seen a phase like, I know this is something that I don't want to do, but I have to because my company wants it.
Correct.
And that is where I was like feeling that I need a space where I want to do my innovation, I want to implement my ideas. And from there I entered into this field. It's like I need to do something where I can help to the corporate through my entrepreneurship, that not necessary that you have to be stay in the your like the box. Sometimes it's out of the box thinking, or out of the box work culture also helps you to give that productivity at your workplace.
Correct. So that's how you came to this journey. So, ma'am, I would again like to ask कि why psychology only? दूसरे भी ऑप्शन शायद आपके पास होंगे उस समय, but what you found different in psychology?
So basically जैसे मैंने बताया, when I was doing MCOM, तो मैंने पर्पसली सब्जेक्ट भी ऐसा लिया था IOLD, which is इंडस्ट्रियल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से रिलेटेड था. तो मुझे ये पता था कि मुझे कुछ लोगों के लिए करना था. आई वॉज नॉट नोइंग एग्जैक्टली क्या. हाँ. So उसी दरमियान जब पढ़ने लगे बुक्स वगैरह, तो मुझे पता चला कि साइकोलॉजी ऐसा डोमेन है जहाँ पे हम ये कर सकते हैं. So I started reading without taking admission to a college, बट मैं बस कर रही थी. एंड देन ऑल ऑफ अ सडन एक दिन दिमाग में आ गया कि बस दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट, और अब मैं इसमें जाऊंगी. देन आई गॉट एनरोल. और जब मैंने साइकोलॉजी वो टाइम पे मतलब एनरोल किया, तो माय विजन वाज वेरी क्लियर कि मुझे अभी कोई कॉर्पोरेट में जाना नहीं है, कुछ कंपनी में काम करना है नहीं. आई विल कंप्लीट माई साइकोलॉजी, और आर्मी का एक एंट्रेंस टेस्ट होता है वो मैं दे दूंगी, और वहाँ पे एज अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट में काम करूंगी. Because I feel that is where at least like my degree will get value. जब मैं कर रही थी तभी साइकोलॉजी इंडिया में इतना वैल्यू नहीं है, मतलब आज भी अगर कोई साइकोलॉजी करता है तो दे हैव वेरी लिमिटेड स्कोप कि स्कूल में जाओ, स्कूल में प्रैक्टिस करो,
हाँ
या फिर खुद का करने वाले बहुत गिने चुने लोग रहते हैं जो करते हैं एक्चुअल में प्रैक्टिस। तो वो सारा था कि आई गेट रजिस्टर्ड, और मेरे ना बचपन से ऐसा दिमाग में था कि मुझे कुछ ऐसा डिग्री चाहिए ना कि जहाँ पे पीपल विल सी मी कि शी इज द एक्सपर्ट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री या फिर डिग्री। तो उसके लिए फिर साइकोलॉजी का जर्नी शुरू हो गया, बट व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड रीडिंग तो मुझे समझा कि ये तो बहुत कुछ है,
बहुत वास्ट है।
बहुत ही ज्यादा, सो बहुत ही ज्यादा है। सो आई फील कि ठीक है, अभी आर्मी वगैरह कुछ नहीं, मुझे मेरा मेरा प्रैक्टिस करना है, एंड दैट इज हाउ वी स्टार्टेड।
ओके, तो आपका जो प्लान था या गोल था वो चेंज हो गया था उस समय।
हाँ, ओवर द पीरियड ये था ना कि आई वाज टोटली लॉस्ट, और ये काफी लोगों के साथ होता है एक्चुअली, व्हेन यू कंप्लीट योर 10 12, तो बच्चों का मतलब इवन यू मस्ट हैव गॉन थ्रू विद दैट जर्नी कि आगे क्या।
हाँ, नेक्स्ट क्या?
तो ये बहुत है कि या तो साइंस करो, कॉमर्स करो, क्योंकि ऑप्शंस बहुत सारे हैं।
हम्म।
आर्ट्स में जाओगे तो पता नहीं, और मैं तो वैसे मतलब टाइम से आ रही हूँ कि जहाँ पे आर्ट साइंस कॉमर्स तो लेबल लगे थे, लाइक 90 है, 90 अबव है तो
तो
साइंस
साइंस।
क्लियर,
हाँ।
70s में हो तो कॉमर्स, और 50 के नीचे हो तो यू आर मेंट फॉर आर्ट्स।
आर्ट्स।
तो वो आप भी रिलेट कर पाओगे इस सारे चीज को, लाइक तो वो सब था। बट देन स्टिल आई केम आउट कि ठीक है, जो भी जिसको जो भी लग रहा है, आई स्टिल गो फॉर द आर्ट्स नाउ, आई स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द जीरो, बिकॉज साइंस का ऑप्शन तब तक तो मेरे से निकल गया था। सो दैट वाज इट। और मतलब वो अंदर से ही आवाज थी, आप ही बोल सकते हो। मुझे कोई पता नहीं वाला था कि व्हाट इज योर इंटरेस्ट, व्हाट इज योर कोर स्ट्रेंथ। सो व्हेन आई एंटर्ड, व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड लर्निंग, देन आई रियलाइज कि जरूरी नहीं कि हर एक को जिंदगी के 7 साल देने की जरूरत है या 6 साल देने की जरूरत है, और या फिर डिग्री आप एक ले रहे हो पर एक्चुअली यू आर वर्किंग इन समथिंग एल्स।
सम डिफरेंट फील्ड। हाँ।
तो वो मुझे ज्यादा ट्रिगर कर रहा था बिकॉज मैंने खुद ने वो जर्नी फेस करी थी, एंड दैट इज हाउ आई एंटर्ड हियर, लेट मी हेल्प।
ओके। एंड आपने जैसे मेंशन किया कि उस टाइम पे द कंडीशन और द सिचुएशन वाज नॉट दैट हेल्पफुल फॉर अ साइकोलॉजी स्टूडेंट। अभी तो शायद अवेयरनेस बढ़ गया है, तो
हाँ जी।
आपको क्या डिफरेंस समझ में आता है दोनों टाइम में?
सो बेसिकली अगर मैं ये बोलती हूँ कि मुझे साइकोलॉजिस्ट बनना है, मुझे साइकोलॉजी में डिग्री करना है, तो वो टाइम पे ऐसा था कि और भी तो ऑप्शन है, इसमें क्या ही सक्सेस है, क्या ही आपको ग्रोथ मिलेगा। एंड द ग्रोथ इट्स नॉट ओनली अबाउट लाइक यू नो द योर हैप्पीनेस क्वोशंट वहां पे कोई नहीं देता है, इट डायरेक्टली लिंक विथ योर फाइनेंशियल सिचुएशन।
हाँ,
तो वो नहीं था, लेकिन
मतलब उस टाइम पे लोग करियर ऑप्शन करके साइकोलॉजिस्ट को नहीं देखते
बहुत
थे।
कम,
बहुत
बहुत
कम
कम,
था।
और कर भी लेते तो बहुत गिने चुने हैं जो आपको प्रैक्टिसिंग साइकोलॉजिस्ट मिलते हैं।
राइट। हाँ।
तो लोगों को नहीं पता है, या लोगों को नहीं पता था रादर कि आगे जाके इतना उसका यूज हम कर सकते हैं। देर आर एन नंबर ऑफ कोर्सेज, देर आर एन नंबर ऑफ लाइक यू नो एसोसिएशंस, या फिर जहाँ पे आप रजिस्टर हो सकते हो प्रैक्टिसिंग साइकोलॉजिस्ट, ये लोगों को नहीं पता है, आज भी नहीं पता है। तो ऐसा नहीं कि छोटा था, अगर और वो मैं उस चीज को मानती हूँ कि इफ यू नो व्हाट इज बेस्ट इन यू, तो वो मार्केट में चलता है नहीं चलता है, बट आप उसमें पक्का चल जाओगे।
करेक्ट।
सो
हाँ।
वो मेरा लेट हुआ, बट नाउ इट इज अवेलेबल फॉर यू टू कम टू अस एंड अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज योर बेस्ट।
राइट।
तो उसके बाद अभी का जो सिनेरियो आफ्टर कोविड, यस, मेंटल अवेयरनेस या मेंटल हेल्थ अवेयरनेस पहले इतना नहीं वैल्यूड था। आफ्टर कोविड पीपल स्टार्टेड वर्किंग ऑन इट बिकॉज दे हैव गॉन थ्रू अ लॉट।
राइट।
मैं ये नहीं बोलूंगी कि ऑब्वियसली दैट वाज अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन टू मेनी ऑफ अस, बहुत ही ज्यादा लोगों को परेशानियां भी हुई, फाइनेंशियली तो था ही, बट मेंटली
मेंटली
भी
भी था।
था। एंड दैट इज वेयर द मेंटल हेल्थ अवेयरनेस थोड़ा लोगों को समझ में आने लगा।
हाँ।
और वहां से अगर आप आज देखो तो पहले वो सेकेंडरी था, नाउ इट इज प्राइमरी कि नो वी
करेक्ट।
नीड टू वर्क ऑन दिस।
हाँ, पीपल स्टार्टेड फोकसिंग ऑन मेंटल
यस,
हेल्थ।
यस,
कोविड ने तो, कोविड वाज अ गेम चेंजर इन दैट एरिया।
यस।
ओके। एंड आपने जो मेंशन किया कि आज भी कोई बहुत सारे ऐसे पोर्टल्स है या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जहाँ पे आप एज अ प्रैक्टिशनर साइकोलॉजिस्ट अप्लाई कर सकते हो,
हाँ,
And आप
उसके
वहाँ
लिए
पे
डिग्री अगर आपके पास है
अच्छा
और आपको प्रैक्टिसिंग करना है, मतलब प्रैक्टिस में उतरना है वगैरह, तो आपको आईसीआई मेंबरशिप होना जरूरी है। लाइक
ओके
गवर्नमेंट बॉडी है।
हाँ
बहुत सारे छोटे छोटे हैं, लॉज वगैरह भी आने लगे हैं। पहले कोई लॉ नहीं था साइकोलॉजी के लिए, तो वो सारा चीज अभी काफी गवर्नमेंट भी उसमें अभी बोलते हैं ना,
इंटरवीन कर रही
इंटरफेयर कर रहे हैं,
ओके
ताकि यू गेट अ क्वालिटी पीपल, वरना
हाँ करेक्ट तो मैम माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज कि लाइक you know as a psychologist how many options one can have so what are the different fields in psychologist or psychology also
साइकोलॉजी में जो आपने पूछा कि क्या क्या है, सो बेसिकली देयर आर नंबर ऑफ वर्टिकल्स, लाइक यू कैन गो फॉर फॉरेंसिक साइकोलॉजी, यू कैन गो फॉर इंडस्ट्रियल साइकोलॉजी, यू कैन गो फॉर क्लिनिकल, यू कैन गो फॉर काउंसलिंग। तो ऐसा नहीं कि क्लिनिकल काउंसलिंग ही है, बहुत सारे फील्ड है जहाँ पे आप साइकोलॉजी में भी कर सकते हैं।
ओह वाह मतलब अपॉर्चुनिटी बहुत
जी
ज्यादा है
जी।
ओके एंड द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज जो आप वर्क कर रहे हो तो यू आर वर्किंग इन विद कॉर्पोरेट्स राइट
यस
तो राइट नाउ व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन कि कॉर्पोरेट्स में मेंटल हेल्थ का कितना अवेयरनेस है
जी
रियलिटी में
जी।
and how BrainChecker is helping them.
Okay. So I must say that it's a good change after COVID, thanks to COVID again. But many corporate companies have started working and started focusing on the mental health of the employee, which is a
Right.
very good thing. तो बहुत जगह पे like you know they have a visiting psychologist. So
Wow.
every month psychologists go in a company, and not only the work related discussion, but if you are facing any emotional turbulence in your life, you can just go and seek for help. So
Right.
this is a new change that company has started, and BrainChecker also provides that services. With that, we always suggest, like you know, you should have a mental health ambassador at your department. So just imagine every department has a like you know mental health ambassador.
Correct.
So I don't have to wait for the psychologist to come to my place.
Place.
I can share to my ambassador, and whenever the psychologist is there, he can suggest that this is a prime thing. You should go. You need to work on your emotional turbulence,
Correct.
whatever you are going through right now.
Hmm.
So that is one thing that we suggest. Apart from that, yes, there are sessions like stress management. There are sessions on like you know the soft skill development. There are sessions on POSH. So a number of activities now. Even companies are looking for it. They don't want to go for that traditional trainings. They are NHS giving and they are working on it. The productivity comes, but with the productivity, you need to balance your mental health, because that is where your consistency also comes.
Correct.
And it's a welcoming change, and we also like to help on that parameter to the companies.
Okay, so corporates are actively taking steps
Yes,
right
yes, yes.
now. Okay, and what is the scenario in the schools?
So even in school now, the even government has started taking a very good like you know actions towards mental health, and every school has a psychologist now.
Yeah.
So many times the psychologists only take care of the like you know the session. If child is having some kind of issue, they try to solve it there. If required, like you know the school plays a major role, because majority of the time the kids spends their time at the school. And that is where if you they have any like you know, and they have a very cute issues, like I had a fight with my best friend, now she's not talking to me, how do I handle this stress? Right. So I'm talking about the youngsters, but
Yeah.
that is where the psychologists also come up, like how you can handle the two individual, how
Right.
if you have a difference of opinion or the thought, how you can understand each other, how
Correct.
you can come up cope up with the study pressure, and how to identify the best subject, and if you are not if you are unable to understand any concept, what you need to do. So
Small topics.
yeah, for them, but it's very big, because they
Yeah.
are just growing up, and for them like I remember a scene that's about my own daughter. I'm sharing you my personal experiences as a mother, not as a psychologist. We were just going for a drive, and we went, and then she said, "Mama, can we have a dinner outside?" I'm like, let's go. And me, or father, and she was there. And all of a sudden, she's like, "Mama, I want to talk to you." And I'm like, "Yeah, please tell me." And then she, because we belong to this profession, she's like, "Mama, I want to talk to you as a psychologist. I don't want to talk to you as a mother to me." I'm like, "Okay, what is the issue?" And then she's like, "You know what? I don't want to play chess for 2 hours. I am more towards my badminton class, and that is the biggest stress of my life. How do I manage this timing? I also need to study. I also have my own personal life. I want to go out with my friends, and that is where I feel that okay, sometimes like what we feel is best for my child, we need to give that authority or the place where they should share what they are going through.
Yeah.
Obviously, after that I solved that issue, we are on a good page, she's agree and she's doing everything fine, but that is where I understood that we feel that they are too young, they are too immature to handle this situation, or they don't understand. But that is where I feel that we need to give that space, we need to give that respect,
The
that
freedom needs to be there.
yes,
They can share.
yes, and that is where the school psychologists are playing a very important, and they are doing their job perfectly.
It's very important then to understand what is good for a child, looking from their perspective.
Yes.
Okay, and now I was going to ask you this question. Being a mother and being a psychologist, तो आप अपने बच्चों से कैसे डील करते हो?
No. When I go home, I am mother only. I just
No more
remove my
psychology.
psychological coat outside the house only, because I know I cannot be on that phase all the time. I
Yeah.
have to be a mother first. And yes, it's beautiful. Like even sometimes I need help because I cannot be perfect all the time. I cannot be right all the time.
Yeah. So usually, like we say कि a tuition teacher का बच्चा needs another tuition teacher. वो
Yes.
खुद
घरचा वैदूस हालत नहीं. So many times even I have went to a school psychologist, ma'am, I need help. Can you please guide me, because this is where my thought process. I don't want to implement my own thought process here. I need third person's view.
perspective, right? Yes, ma'am. So आपने बताया जैसे आप स्टूडेंट्स के साथ किस तरह से काम करते हो, वो कितने प्यारे प्यारे इश्यूज होते हैं उनके. तो वो any techniques which you do with students to increase their focus in studies या exams का pressure कैसे handle कर सकते हैं?
Yeah, so exam का pressure handle करना is totally different scenario, but to improve their memory or focus, it is called as a brain exercise.
Yeah,
So
brain exercise.
हाँ, तो हम लोग वो suggest करते हैं parents को. काफी सारे हैं. So for example, if you want a demo, so we can do it right now.
Okay.
So can you just do it? The opposite.
Like this?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So these are the very basic things that we always suggest parents to go for it. और बच्चों से रोज का 15 मिनट आधा घंटा भी आपने कर दिया तो you can do it. So for example, जो हम स्कूल में करते थे.
हाँ, ये हम लोग usually हम लोग भी करते थे स्कूल में.
And there is one more thing like.
But this is time consuming.
तो ये स्पीड के साइड करना है.
Okay.
उंगली सही निकलनी चाहिए.
Okay, so
Yes.
this is difficult than previous one. Okay. ये 1 था, ये 2 था. Okay.
These are this example I give you, but yes, there are a number of activities that we do conduct for the brain development. Like it's a brain development program.
Okay. I need to learn this now.
So we focus on that. We also there are the worksheet and the activities that we do take care of when the children comes to us.
Okay.
And apart from that, yes, there are the testing elements like the talent assessment, psychometric. That is for kids, those who are already completed their 13, looking for the career options now.
Yeah.
They want to go for the specific field.
Post 10th.
13, after 13 is the right age, because in 8th standard you have to go for the specialization of your subject.
I mean post 10th standard.
8th
standard.
13 is 8th.
Okay.
So that is the right age, because then you get a time to understand what exactly you need to do, what is your forte, what is your specialization, where you want to work if you really want to go for XYZ field. We always suggest to follow your passion, but that passion should not only include the happiness, it should also have a the financial stability as well.
Right.
So that is all parameter we do consider when it comes to the counseling part.
Okay, got it. And shifting to a different domain, which is your forte again, POSH training.
Yes.
So can you describe the POSH training in layman language for our audience.
Okay, so basically, POSH is a prevention of sexual harassment. So every company who's having 10 plus employee, it's a compulsory training. Uh, but it's not only about the training or the compliance part. I always say it's about a culture. Okay, and that is where your work culture matter. And once you have a good culture around you, obviously the growth happens automatically.
Right.
Right. POSH helps you to understand what is the right behavior, what is a positive attitude towards your employee or work, what you need to do, what you don't have to focus more on. And that comes with the culture, as I mentioned earlier. So this is what POSH we do in every company when it is required.
Okay. And what are the things which are covered in POSH?
So POSH is all about, like, it's specifically for the prevention of sexual harassment.
Right.
So it helps you to, like, reduce the harassment at the workplaces, and that is what the main forte or the main purpose of the POSH. Okay. With the training, we also guide companies to have their IC committee, their external members, what are the policies they need to implement, what they need to take care actually when it comes to the POSH, because there are very, very, like, new startups. They don't know about these policies, compliance, what they need to focus on. So that is where BrainChecker helps from A to Z to that company. And there are many companies who also have already having this IC committee. They already have the policies. Then in that case, the only training part comes to us.
Okay.
So we guide them. So in training, it comes like, what is the purpose of POSH, what things you need to take care, and what are the implementation you should do towards your work, which will create a positive workplace at your company.
Okay. So, like handshake also comes under POSH.
Okay. No, it's a forcefully touch, unwanted touch, that comes under POSH.
Okay.
So many times, like, for example, many times you are just going to a party and somebody, because you entered and somebody is whistling around you. If you are uncomfortable, that goes under POSH.
Even whistling goes under.
Yes, because that is something that you never wanted to. That was specifically for you.
Okay.
Right?
And like, what are the other things can be there, which, like, right now you are citing
so
whistling?
see, there are a number of, like, there are the sexual harassment comes in a very different way. The unwanted touch, unwanted behavior. Right? So for example, stalking, or
so it need not to be just physical, it can be
yeah,
emotional
sexual
also.
harassment, not necessarily that sexual harassment is only about physical part. So like, harassment comes without touch as well.
Right.
So like, as I mentioned, stalking, कोई आपका पीछा कर रहा है, is somebody messaging you after your work hours.
Oh.
If somebody is, like, purposely looking at you with a inappropriate,
in a wrong
inappropriate way, in a wrong way, you're talking but the eyes are somewhere else. These are all untouched harassment.
Correct. So that is also
sending like, double or forwarding a double meaning joke. अरे मैम आप फॉरवर्ड कर दिया, आप ब्रॉडकास्ट ग्रुप में थे, गलती से आ गया, छोड़ लो. No, it's not.
Okay.
So these are all things we take care in.
छोटी से छोटी चीजें कवर की है.
हाँ, बिकॉज कई लोगों को ये पता ही नहीं है कि ऐसा कुछ भी है और ये सारा चीज भी इसमें आ सकता है.
ओके. एंड ये सिर्फ फीमेल्स के लिए नहीं है, इट इज इक्वली मेंट फॉर मेल्स.
Many companies have started like, this POSH training or the POSH policies or the POSH Act under the gender equality. Okay. Gender equality में it goes for male, female and the person as well. So
okay.
वहाँ पे फिर जहाँ पे gender equality है तो POSH उनके लिए भी काम करता है.
Great. So it's a good initiative to create a good work culture.
Yes. और एक और चीज जैसे आ जाता है ना, जैसे अनटच का हो रहा था, so that can be like, any personal comment also regarding your clothes, regarding your own like, like बहुत बार बोल देते ना, यार तू तो बहुत ही मोटा हो गया है, या the personal comment of physics or anything. This is also
That
not
is also
acceptable.
considered in posh.
Yes, because वो सामने वाला को नहीं अच्छा लग रहा, उसने नहीं बोला है, that they have not given you the authority.
Yeah, like I don't think so. Everyone is quite aware about what are the things covered in posh, and that's why it is mandatory to
That's
have.
the reason the government has given us like the mandatory training of POSH, because लोगों को awareness करना जरूरी है. Once a year, like it is suggested to go for a twice like training in a 6 months, like twice in a year.
Yeah.
Right? But at least with एक साल भी में एक बार भी करते हैं तो at least that awareness लोगों के लिए अच्छा रह जाता है.
Okay.
And it is not only for the structure या organized sector only. It is also for the unstructured or unorganized sector as well. मतलब हमें लगता है ना कि जो एकदम सही से कंपनी है
Corporate से, हाँ,
जरूरी नहीं. So
like,
any company who is having 10 plus employees, POSH is mandatory.
okay. And what about the workers which are working in this companies also, or maybe in household, even
Domestic workers. So for
Yeah.
that, they have a she box.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
she box.
Yes.
Okay.
So उनके लिए भी ये प्रोविजन है कि POSH एक्ट के अंदर if they are having any sexual harassment at their workplace, basically domestic worker में हो जाता है. So that is where the society can implement POSH.
So that is covered under that.
जहाँ पे IC
policy.
कमेटी नहीं आता वहाँ पे LC आ जाता है.
NC
लोकल कमेटी.
local committee. Okay. Got it.
क्योंकि जो 10 से कम एम्प्लॉय है तो वहाँ पे कमेटी नहीं होती है. So in that case the LC comes in.
Okay. Yes. So ma'am, can you describe कि what are the types of harassment या किस किस person के बीच में हो सकता है वो?
So there are like quid pro quo, then there is hostile work environment, internet harassment. So these are the some types of
And in between what genders we can consider? We know male to female होता है.
No, it's not necessarily male to female. So the harassment can be like from male to male, male to female,
Same gender.
female to male, and female to female.
Okay.
So ये चारों पैरामीटर्स में आ जाता है. जरूरी नहीं कि वो सिर्फ मेल टू फीमेल में आए.
अच्छा. Okay. So I am going to ask a different question right now. So you also do marriage counseling, right?
Yes.
So what are the common challenges you face when couples are coming to you?
So majorly, yes, there is the major thing is the communication gap. He don't have time for me, or she now got busy with the kids and other parameters. And yes, sometimes they have some family issues or the financial instability and all. But what we generally focus is that even though they are coming for the counseling, when they are coming to us to find out the solution, we always see and we are happy that they are here because they really want to work on their relationship.
True, that's true.
So that is a very plus positive sign for us that they are here because they really want to work on it. And that self-realization matters a lot. And for that we do have a couple workshop. So basically what we do in that 2 days, we just create a small thing where they can understand what as a couple they need to do in their daily life. Okay. So that can be a small activity together or giving undivided attention. You need to understand what is the love language of your partner. If for example if XYZ is someone who loves quality time, now people may think that yes, I was with her from last 2 hours. I was driving and she was sitting next to me. Sorry, but that does not consider as a quality time.
Okay.
Because you are focused on to drive your car properly rather than focusing what she is actually trying to share to you.
Correct.
So you are not giving full attention to your wife if she is someone who's having a language of quality time.
Okay.
So that is what you need to understand.
Right.
And people always say that you should have a balanced relationship, right? I am somebody who always say that rather than balance, it should be the aligned relationship because that matters a lot. You can also share the responsibility. together.
Hmm.
Nowadays, both husband and wife are working, right?
Correct.
And that is where again you need to find out that a small moment where you can stay together.
Hmm.
You can create memories for each other. You can share the responsibility. Come and ask what exactly you are looking for.
Hmm.
Women don't like to ask. They always feel that you assume, you should understand by my body language or through my
They expect that.
right. But and that is where again you should share. You should ask what you want.
Hmm. Right. Asking for support.
Yes, and that matters. See, male are very practical. They are task oriented.
Hmm. True.
Woman is someone who is very goes on a
Two
emotional manner,
emotional sides.
and that is where you need that alignment again.
Alignment. Not balance. Okay. Yes. And okay. So, ma'am, my next question is people from two different interests or completely two different people can have a healthy relationship.
Definitely yes.
How?
So see, we always say the opposite attracts, right? But
Right.
when it comes to the person who is totally different from the one person, and that is where again the rather than balancing the alignment comes between. So that cannot be like for example, if one person is totally outdoor person
Mm.
and one person is like to spend their Sundays at home,
Mm.
and you can actually have a the settlement or the agreement or the understanding that one Sunday I'll say stay at home and I'll do the activity which my partner likes, who loves to spend their family time together at the Sunday.
Mm.
Okay, the other Sunday you may plan like, okay, last Sunday I was with you, so this Sunday you are coming with me for the trekking.
Yeah.
So it's about giving
Mm.
and understanding what other want.
Okay.
And this is how you can balance it. And this is how you can actually go with a healthy relationship.
Oh,
Rather
okay.
than going like, he is somebody who's don't like to go outside. He always like to stay at home, and I'm somebody who is very outdoor person. Let us find out a solution where you can be together
Mm.
rather than going to a blaming part. Why are you are like this? Why I'm like this?
Mm. Okay. So you mentioned alignment twice or thrice. So what according to you is alignment?
So balancing is not about like 50-50. There cannot be a 50-50 in relationship.
Okay. Yeah.
Specifically when it comes to the because obviously a woman has more responsibility. She has to do more. I'm not saying that men don't do, but yes, it's like more of a 60-40, 70-30 kind of a relationship. And that is where you need to understand how we can, no matter what is the scenario around us, but we need to understand what exactly we are looking for to keep this relationship happy,
Okay. Good.
rather than taking it to the task कि आज का दिन आया है तो चलो हमें ये करना ही है,
Hmm.
संडे है तो हमें बाहर जाना ही है, 2 बजे तो हमें निकलना ही है, ठीक है 2:30 निकलो, नो मैटर. But make sure that 2:30 you are going with the happy faces rather than is like आधा घंटा लेट हो
Late.
गए अभी चलो चलना है, and then somebody is like एक गाड़ी चला रहा है दूसरा गाड़ी के बाहर देख रहा है बच्चा पीछे बैठा है. That does not make sense. Then that is where you need to understand that okay 30 minutes late हो गया, maybe there is a genuine reason.
Hmm.
So this is just an example I give you, but this is how you need to understand how we can stay together with the right approach.
Okay.
By understanding each other problem, by understanding each other liking, by understanding each other's love language, by understanding what exactly my partner wants.
Okay. That is going to be very useful for our generation also. Okay. So my next question is one of the thing which I saw you guys do is career assessment, right? So how you support children in doing the career assessment and how it is done? Is it a one-time process or it is an ongoing process?
Okay, so basically, before answering this question, I'll just tell you, BrainChecker works in 3 verticals. One is education, one is corporate, and the other is personal, like
Marriage.
marriage counseling or any other personal counseling if somebody wants. Okay, when it comes to the education part, that is where the assessment comes. So BrainChecker is more for the assessment and the training company.
Hmm.
When it comes to the assessment in the education, that is where once the child completes his or her 13 age, that is the
Hmm.
8th standard, that is where we suggest this is the right age to go for the career counseling.
Okay.
So that you understand what subject you need to focus on,
Hmm.
what are the options that you have, how you can schedule, like, 2 year journey to focus on what your, like, roadmap is going to be,
Hmm.
how you can finalize your goal. If you are not good with something and if you still want to go ahead with that, what are the coming up or coping up mechanism for that particular weakness,
Hmm.
how, what is your overall persona. And that is what we do when it comes to the psychometric test.
Okay.
When it comes to the talent assessment is something where we focus more on your natural talent,
Hmm.
because what you have learned through the school or the
Yeah.
society or the family, it is known as an acquired skill that you acquired, you learn and you implement it,
Correct.
right? But there are also known as a natural skills.
Hmm.
So some people are very good with, like, singing, some people are very
Yeah.
good with dancing, some
Yeah.
people are very good with oratory, some people are very good with practical thinking or
Hmm.
analytics or the research part. So how will you know that what exactly who you are? And that comes through the talent assessment. So
Okay.
that we focus from 3 to 12 because that is where you have a chance to work on your talent.
Hmm.
So, for example, if a child comes to me who's good with the musical ability, so we suggest them, okay, let us start with the singing classes right now rather than
Hmm.
putting to n number of activities. Okay.
Yeah. Just focusing on their
Yes,
talent.
yes.
Okay.
After 8, that child comes to me again for the psychometric, and now he understood through the acquired skill he is somebody who is more interested in technical field.
Hmm.
Okay, that is where we then try to combine his natural talent with the current scenario.
Hmm.
And then we can suggest him, okay, because you like tech and you have already learned music,
Yeah.
let us finalize, or maybe the sound engineering is best option for you. So
Okay.
what I'm doing, or what BrainChecker does it, not only the current scenario but also your natural talent we try to
Combine.
combine. So
Okay.
automatically your natural interests, your current level of growth, it's a win-win situation for you. So
Exactly.
happiness, financial stability, and yes, when we recommend careers, it is not something which is related to degree. It is also which is related to the next 40 years of the result.
With a long-term vision.
Yes, because that degree should get used for the work,
Correct. Hmm.
and that comes with the financial stability,
Hmm.
that comes with the your mental peace, that comes with your own happiness,
Hmm.
that comes with, like, I should grow with this field.
Yeah.
It should be demanding field in the future. The all parameter comes
Okay. And do like you must be doing lots of assessment now. So do you think assessment is this process still needs awareness?
No, I don't think it's again it's very good that not only the education sector, even in corporate, many people go for the assessment for the right hiring.
Oh wow. Hmm.
Yes, many people goes for the assessment to whom to promote.
Huh. Correct.
Many people go for the assessment. I need to understand which department is happy on what parameters.
Hmm.
So it is like a audit of
Hmm.
the company profile.
Right.
And many companies are coming up with that things and they go for this assessment.
So the awareness is growing.
Yes.
So ma'am, we have covered lots of things. So one thing which I personally want to ask, I read that you have 150 plus centers. You are established in more than 23 states today. So what do you think? What is one differentiator that BrainChecker did, and which has caused this big success to the company?
Okay. So the first thing is that yes, the support of the like, what we give
Hmm.
training part. We understood this is a requirement of the society.
Society. Hmm.
Okay. When we started with the NASIC, we understood what exactly we need to focus on, what exactly market needs.
Hmm.
And yes, with that, we when we understood the need, we also understood the loyalty and the accuracy matters a lot in this field.
Hmm.
That we have given to the people, and so they trust us, and that
Okay.
help us to grow in more cities.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people want to come in this field. So we are there in 23 states, but we are also there in Nepal. We are also
Oh,
there in
so
Sri
you have
Lanka.
international
Yes,
presence
we are
also.
also there in Dubai. We are also there in Abu Dhabi. So
Wow.
this is how BrainChecker, we have started with a baby, but it's growing now.
Oh, wow. And it is operated by your team members, the
Yes.
centers?
Yes. So basically, Nasik is the main head office. We
Mhm.
have our team. We also have the panel expert, because every time Keya and Ashwin cannot be the expert to all the parameters.
Correct.
Everybody has their own forte. So we have experts with us,
Hmm.
and when it is required, the expert also plays a major role for the BrainChecker.
Oh, wow. It's huge, I guess. Okay. So yes, ma'am, you described how it is working. So if someone wants to join this or want to start their career in this section or this sector, so how one can do that?
They can contact BrainChecker.
Okay.
BrainChecker will help them to
Okay.
grow in this field.
Yeah. So we can definitely mention your details in the
Yes.
podcast. Okay, great. So coming to the conclusion, I want to ask, can you recommend us two books? One for which children can refer for their career, and one for the youngsters or for the new couples.
Right. So one book on the career is Designing Your Life.
Designing your life.
Yes, by
Oh,
Bill Burnett and Dave Evans.
okay,
Okay. And for relationship is Hold Me Tight by Johnson.
okay. Hold me tight. Okay, great. And ma'am, what is the one piece of advice which you would like to give to our audience?
Okay, so for the children or the youngster, I'll just say that, focus on yourself. Self love is not a selfish thing. It is the requirement. Okay, when you'll focus on yourself, when you'll understand who you are, that basically where you will understand what exactly you need to grow. So it's a requirement. Focus on your goal, focus on your lifestyle, focus on the achievement. So that is, and self love is everybody needs.
Hmm.
So love yourself.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for the insights. Uh, throughout the podcast, we have covered different topics, starting from students, then career assessment, POSH training, how mental health is being incorporated in corporates. So we have covered different dimensions, and I am sure that this podcast is definitely going to be useful for not just youngsters but for parents also, and for every age group who is watching us.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you
Thank you.
for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and giving me opportunity coming here and sharing my knowledge, whatever I have.
You have lots of knowledge.
So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.